Hello and all, it's Review Doc Stone, Chapter 160, Torch of Science, and before anything else, I just have to say, I was freaking right! Last chapter I called it, Luna's gonna be the doctor that's gonna end up saving Senku's life, and I was right! I mean, okay, so she's a failing medical school student who only got in because of her father's connections and only went so that she can meet cute, smart guys to become her husband down the road, but still, she has the medical knowledge they're gonna need to save Senku's life. That's something at least. It's also very interesting what she says here, that she only got in because of her father's connections. I mean, who is her father? Definitely a lot of people are speculating that Carlos and Max, you see them here dropping off at med school, they're like her bodyguards, paid for by her father to keep an eye on her to make sure she doesn't, wander in traffic or whatever. Because when they woke up, Dr. X's team referred to them as the staff of the DARPA Expo. So, is Luna's father, really big in the technology field? Was he in charge of the DARPA Expo? Was he, the head of DARPA or something? I don't know. I'm very, very curious about that. And quite frankly, I'm very curious about what Carlos and Max are going to do now. Because Stanley basically just left Luna to die. I mean, he basically told them, yeah, I'm going to head back, do whatever you want with Luna, I don't really care. I mean, it's very obvious to everyone on board the ship right now, or at least to Ryu, that Luna was a spy. Luna was the one that betrayed them all to Dr. X's team. So it would not be all that surprising for Senku's team to murder her. After she got their leader killed. I would not be surprised at all if they did that. And, Stanley has no way of confirming that they won't do that. I mean, these are Senku's, friends, family, maybe his lover on this ship here. They're going to be very, very upset that he's dead. I mean, sure, Jen, pointing to this whole picture of him being this evil, corrupt, monstrous leader is forcing them to obey him, but it's very obvious, Stanley, that Jen is lying now, so I really do feel like he just left Luna to die here. I mean, Carlos and Max are obviously going to try and rescue her somehow, some way, which I think would be very funny. They go in to go rescue her and they see her doing major surgery on Senku. And I'm guessing they'll serve some sort of role in assisting her with the surgery. It seems like they just dropped her off at med school, so it doesn't seem like they have any, medical school knowledge, but maybe they helped her study, or maybe Carlos is an Eagle Scout and knows what kind of plants grow nearby that are good for treating wounds. They're disinfectants, something that could make him useful here. I'm really just not sure. I'm fairly certain they're going to end up, coming on board the ship, with their weapons drawn, demanding Luna back, and then she's going to put them to work. I'm just not sure what that work will be, what their role will be on the ship. So I am convinced now that Luna is going to end up teaming up with Senku, leaving the country with him down the road. Which I really want to see just because, don't forget, Kohaku hasn't been here for any of this. She hasn't seen, the outright flirting between her and Senku this whole time, and I feel like she's gonna get a little bit jealous about that, and maybe that could push, their relationship forward a little more. Heck, maybe Senku will go with harem route. I have no problem with that. You also just really have to wonder what's going through Luna's mind right now, because she was in tears about how calm, cool, and collected Senku was in the middle of all this chaos and anarchy. Literally in tears about how amazing he was. But, is she blaming herself for this? She gave the name Senku and then he was immediately shot less than a minute later. So, does she think that it was because of her? Does she think that Stanley missed? We've definitely seen her make some very strange leaps in logic throughout the last couple chapters, so it's definitely hard to say what exactly is going through her mind, but I'm sure she feels at least a little bit of guilt for being, a spy here. Also, I do have to just point out that Ryu actually refers to Senku as their science leader here, after they, put him on the medical table. Please tell me that Luna doesn't still think that Taiju is the leader. I'm just very curious about that, and I do just absolutely love Taiju on his knees just begging, pleading with Luna to save Senku. That was so amazing. And I'm just really excited to see exactly what she does, how she saves him. And I do just love Ryu taking charge of this whole situation. He is such a natural-born leader that even in this moment of chaos and anarchy and panic where they don't know if Senku's going to live or die, he just immediately takes command. He immediately tells them, now's our chance, now's our time to strike back, now's our time to win, now is the time for victory! Love it! And I'm actually very surprised about how torn up Yo seems to be about Senku's death. He looks really hurt by this, and I still kind of view Yo as a villain, so that was surprising to see. He does actually care about Senku, that's nice. And of course, Jeno completely thinks he's dead. He's like, shouldn't we start digging a grave or something? At which point Senku explains, no, I'm okay. The fragments just passed cleanly right through me. Senku, I'm not going to doubt your science knowledge, but the fact that you're bleeding out of your nose and mouth tells me that they hit at least a few of your organs right there. I mean, I might be wrong. I'm definitely not an expert of medical knowledge. I'm not even at, Luna's level of medical knowledge, but I feel like bleeding out your mouth is a sign that you got hit pretty badly. Oh, and just one panel right here was probably the funniest in the whole chapter. Joe shouts out he's alive, and Matsukaze has to cover his mouth and apologize to his lord for dishonoring him like that, as Kinro explains. If you shout that loud, the enemy will hear. We lose the whole element of surprise. Remember, we're trying to hide here. We're trying not to tell them that he's actually alive. And you just gotta love old man Kasuki, still amazed at Senku's ingenuity and quick thinking. And, he's taking a moment to compliment him, and, he's taking a moment to compliment him while still crying. It's just such a perfect moment for him. I really love it. I mean, one thing the series does absolutely well that I think we can all agree on is that it gives every character a chance to shine. I mean, a lot of the series would be focused mostly on Senku here. We'd see a few other characters like, oh, thank God he's alive. Oh, awesome, amazing. But here we see the real emotions and personality of every single character, and I just absolutely love it. Anyway, then we flashed over to Chrome and Kohaku, planning their attack on the American Kingdom of Science. I mean, and I'm definitely gonna forgive Chrome for this, because, he's definitely not a fighter by any stretch of the imagination, but Kohaku, you are a freaking ninja warrior. You didn't hear these 3 very large men approaching you from behind until they, were literally right behind you? Seriously? And I do have to disagree a little bit with Yoga here when they say that once they infiltrate the enemy base, they'll have the advantage in close combats. Yeah, the enemy base is full of, trained Marines. I mean, I will give to Yoga Sukusa, you guys are very strong competitors, really strong fighters. But against a group of trained Marines, I don't think your advantage is going to be as big as you think it is. Especially since they probably have handguns. Oh god, in this panel. Sukusa, we'll have to dig. Kyoga, indeed. No disagreement, no doubt. They are both completely certain that digging is the only option they can do. And I'm actually a little surprised that Ukyo is so shocked by this. I mean, he was, in the Navy? So he certainly has a history and basic knowledge of military tactics. That shouldn't come off as all that surprising to him. Though I do just absolutely love this giant drilling robots they drew here. Oh my god, it is so unnecessary and so amazing. I absolutely freaking love it. Now, obviously, they aren't going to end up building something like this for a whole lot of reasons, but I am just curious about exactly how they're going to make an underground tunneling machine without the enemy spotting them, without being heard. It's going to require a lot of work, a lot of moving of dirt. Yeah, I'm very curious about that. I mean, Yoga basically says, oh, we're just going to need a whole bunch of science items from Senku. Okay, that doesn't really answer any of my questions exactly how you're going to do all this, but I'm really excited to see it. We also finally figure out exactly how they're communicating back and forth using an Usugi cipher. Which, okay, that works well and stuff, but I have a little issue here with what Hyoga says. This Dr. X may know his stuff, but I can't imagine a non-Japanese knowing the Iroha poem sequence. I mean, fair enough, he probably doesn't know it, but that's a fairly big risk to take. I mean, you're literally betting the entire war on him not knowing this poem cipher. And not having anyone, on his team who knows the poem cipher. That feels a little too risky to me. I mean, they end up giving the message, that Senku was shot but he's still alive. That's a huge thing you're trying to keep secret from the enemy's team. They covered Jinro's mouth so he wouldn't spill the beans about it. I mean, I feel like there could have been, better ways for them to give the message, like, Senku, neck, Tsukasa. Then they'd be like, okay, Senku's neck. Oh, they're referring to when Tsukasa broke Senku's neck and he faked his death. Okay, so Senku just faked his own death and we need to pretend like he's dead for the next couple days. Alright, we can make that work. I don't know, something like that. I do just love this change in Ukyo. He goes from smiling, explaining the code, laughing along, and all of a sudden his eye goes wide, like, Senku's been shot! Wait, no, it's okay. He's still alive, but he was shot. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then the final message. 47, 12, 42, Ku, Ro, Mu, Chrome. You gotta realize that Dr. Chrome, the scientist now, is you. Love it! Love it! Freaking love it! And this is what people have been asking for a long time, for a chance to Chrome to really shine, to really stand up on his own 2 feet and be a scientist, to become Dr. Chrome. I mean, we definitely even saw that hinted at on the way over here on the ship, you know? The calcite he ended up finding and gave to Senku so they could find their way through the storm. Senku was so proud of him that as he really had grown from, you know, the sorcerer he was when Senku first met him. And now here's the chance for him to really work on his own, to really become a true scientist. And I'm just so excited for this. And oh my god. Byakuya's words just mean so much more now. There'll always be people greedy enough to want to know every last detail about how the world works. When Dr. X, you know, gave the challenge in the flashback about how if another scientist came out, they'd have a battle of science, and the winner would be whoever knew science better. Their science would be superior, and they would have the right to rule the world then. I assumed that was Senku. I assumed that was him who was gonna, you know, stand out atop. He was the one who was gonna win, but no. It's a guy who 150 chapters ago thought the Earth was flat. He is gonna be the greatest scientist that is gonna beat Dr. X, and I cannot freaking wait to see it! Oh, I can't wait for this. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, it's just so ironic, you know? Dr. X took out Senku because he viewed him as the greatest threat to his kingdom of science, the one who would have the power to beat him, the one who had power to overcome him. But in doing so, he just royally ticked off the kingdom of science second greatest scientist. And Chrome looks like he's ready to kill people here. I mean, he really looks ticked off. Oh, I'm excited for this. I've definitely seen some speculating online that Chrome is going to be less nice than Senku is. You know, Senku's the whole, oh, we're not going to kill anyone, we're going to just take hostages, I'm going to have this war end without any bloodshed and all that. Chrome might not be that nice. Chrome might be willing to, you know, kill a few people if it means avenging his fallen master. And I, for one, would not mind seeing that whatsoever. I mean, this is a whole kingdom of soldiers. I'm sure they're going to understand, you know, the cost of war and losing people like that. Yeah, so next week is definitely going to be a very, very interesting chapter. Chrome going crazy, finding a way to build some underground digging machines. He's going to have to create the drill that will pierce the heavens and pierce the heart of Dr. X. I'm actually very curious to see what's going on with Jen right now because, you know, it's basically been revealed that he was a liar, he was a spy. So is Dr. X going to kill him, imprison him? What's his plan there? I mean, he was able to beat a polygraph machine, so I'm sure Dr. X is going to see some use in keeping him alive, but I'm just going to be very interested in seeing, you know, Dr. X basically tell him, yeah, we figured out that Senku was a real scientist and we killed him. Sorry about that. I mean, is Jen going to really believe it? Is he going to overhear the transmissions going back and forth and, you know, be able to figure out the site for himself? I mean, what exactly is his plan moving forward? I mean, has he already seduced Olga, the giant green beret woman, and convinced her to join his side? What's going on with him? And how exactly is Luna going to save Senku? What kind of medical procedure operation can she do here? Like I said, I'm sure Carlos and Max are going to try and free her and then realize, oh, okay, so she switched sides. We're on Luna's side, so I guess that means we're on your side. I mean, Stanley did kind of leave you to die, so that makes more sense for us. Oh, this was a fun chapter. This is a really, really fun chapter. So glad I called that Luna was a doctor. Very happy about that. Before I go, though, I do want to say one more thing. For a title card this week, I tried doing something a little different. Tried coloring in this absolutely badass, amazing shot of Chrome. Love it. It took way more time than expecting, so probably not something I can do every week, but let me think down below. If you like it, I will definitely try and make sure every couple chapters I do something like this. So yeah, let me know what you think about that down below, and let me know what you think about this whole chapter. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Please, I'm very close to 1,000 subscribers. That's been a big goal of mine ever since I started this channel. I'd really love to hit it before the end of the year. But until next time,
peace.